Yeah. Guys, UFC Oklahoma City, aka the UFC J-Dog card. Just went down. It was a pretty good card in my eyes. So this card, it had the potential to be the greatest card in the world. Um, because a lot of my favorite fighters were on the card, and if they won, I was gonna be very happy. And majority did, and there's some other good fights, like fights that people didn't care about, still delivered. I feel like so. Let's go through the card. I'm a I did better on predictions than last week. Obviously, last week I went what 7-7, I think, and so we did better this week. But yeah, not perfect, which we were hoping for. For a card that's handcrafted for me, basically. It kind of sucks, but it is what it is, man. So let's get into the first fight. I'll be honest, I was working. I worked today, so I did miss the first three fights. Um, Anna Malesano versus Dion Barboza. So I didn't see this fight, but it was only 4 minutes, and I did see the finish. So Dion Barboza gets the sub, gets to the back, and gets the rear naked choke and makes Anna tap. I think Anna was on the Ultimate Fighter, right? Yeah, tough. Yeah, she was on tough, and this year I think, and she lost. That's how she's out, but it's so weird that she got signed. But anyways, I don't know, man. But I picked Barboza to win just because she was prepared. This was short notice for Anna, but yeah, good finish. See, like if you didn't care about this fight, at least there was a first round finish. You know what I'm saying? R.J. Harris versus Alvin Hines. I did pick Alvin Hines, and I probably won't pick him again. But he got KO'd in a minute 40. I didn't see the whole fight, but the fact it was super short. It's late here, man. My bad. But I did see the finish, and yeah, RJ did crack him, and it was a TKO. But yeah, he did land a lot of good follow up shots. So, shout out to RJ Harris. Short notice got signed, and took the fight. Who was Hines supposed to fight? I forget who Hines was supposed to originally fight, to be honest. But yeah, anyways, good look for RJ Harris. Alvin Hines banned for a year, came back and takes another loss. So yeah, it is what it is, man. Alden Correa versus Stuart Nickel. Um, I didn't see this fight, but obviously it went to a unanimous decision. I saw highlights, but the fact he was like, I think he was in. Well, these were the starting odds, I guess. I saw he was a negative 2,000 at one point, but a negative 1,100, and a guy who's at the time 0-3 in the UFC. Kind of expected Alden to finish him, but yeah, man, it is what it is. He didn't get the finish, but I didn't see this fight. I don't know if it was that entertaining overall, but yeah, man, whatever. As I picked, I picked Alden to win. So Ezra Elliott versus Damian Anderson. I did catch this fight. This one I got back home. I picked Anderson. I think he's 5-0. So and the other guy's Ezra is 7-0. So Ezra has two extra fights technically, but Anderson had a lot of grappling matches beforehand, and I don't know. I felt like he was gonna be very good in here, but Ezra Elliott gets the dub. Very dominant grappling win. So that's why I was very impressed by Elliott, because I felt like Anderson, he'd done a lot of grappling matches on his record, it shows, and I felt like he was going to dominate the fight in the grappling, but it was Ezra Elliott who dominated, so fair play. Um, Now I know a bit more about these guys if they fight again, for who they fight next, like picks wise, but I just went with Anderson, not really knowing much. But yeah, we did get this one wrong, but not super entertaining. But I did have a Loki. Loki had some hype to it. Loki had some hype to it for short notice. Two like newcomers that had some hype. So yeah, but the fight didn't super deliver. But we'll see. We'll see what they do in the next one, man. Levi Rodriguez Jr. versus Felipe Franco. Um, thank goodness I picked Felipe Franco and he got the dub. Um, you know, it was. I don't know if it was a hate watch, but I didn't want Levi to win. Even though I know I picked Alvin Hines and he did lose, so that's okay. But I didn't want Levi to win because he literally tested positive for ped for some kind of for something, and so he won on the Contender Series. Got caught for that he popped, and still got signed to the UFC. So I didn't really. He literally got signed off of cheating, technically. So that didn't make sense. So I really did want him to lose this one. He looked decent. They were cracking each other at times. So yeah, fair play. But yeah, Felipe Franco gets it done. I picked him to win. For the stoppage, I don't think it was horrible, but Levi was still moving, or Levy. I think his name was Levy, honestly. But Levy was still moving on the ground, but Franco was connecting shots. There was a lot of shots connecting, spinning his head, but he wasn't out cold. So I get the finish. I get him being upset because he wasn't out cold, but he wasn't really defending because a lot of shots were still getting through for Franco. And I think Franco got a performance bonus, so fair play. There's other people I may have given it to, but, fair play. Shout out to Franco, This is where my card started. This is where all my bangers started, man. Jean-Paul Lesbiani versus Seok-Young Ko. Now, I picked Jean-Paul to win. And I picked him to win if he could stop the grappling of Seok-Young Ko. And he was able to get 2 guillotine mounted positions. And he did nothing with them, but he was able to get to that position. And to be honest, I know Seok-Young Ko's really good because he dominated his 2 fights in the UFC, grappling heavy. But I was really hoping someone would beat him and make him not grapple and be boring like that, even though he is really good. And honestly, after this fight, I might pick him in the next one, depending on who he fights. He was really good on the feet. So the fact I only saw 6 rounds of basically holding down how good he was at grappling and holding people down, I wasn't a big fan. But seeing his striking in this fight was actually sick. He is very good. So I'm excited for his next fight, to be honest. But Jean-Paul gets it done. I thought this was a close fight. And, I think it was... I think Seok-Young Ko could have I think either guy could have won. And I picked Jean-Paul. I like Jean-Paul. But it was close, man. I think Jean-Paul had the first round. Seok-Young had the second round, obviously. Wait. No, wait. Am I tripping? Wait. Oh, dude, I've already forgotten. Jean-Paul round 1. No, sorry. Seok-Young Ko won round 1. And Jean-Paul won round 2. And so it was 1-1 going into the third. Seok-Young Ko for 4 minutes and 20 seconds was winning that round. He was winning round 3 for 4 minutes. But off a jab. He had a nasty jab in the fight. Was winning the fight off that. And winning the round off that and basically the fight. But Jean-Paul had a takedown and good punches, ground and pound, follow-up punches and stuff. In the last 40 seconds, he went crazy. And so it's hard to do it because Jean-Paul had a big moment in that round at the end, causing a lot of damage and doing more. But KO had more punches technically in the round. So I thought it was really close. I was hoping Jean-Paul was going to get it, but I low-key was not confident. I felt like it could have gone either way. So great scrap. I feel like these guys could have got fight of the night. I'll talk about the performance bonus, the fight of the night bonus. I feel like they could have got it possibly, but we'll get there. But yeah, Jean-Paul wins. They both look great. I'm excited for both of them again. And so yeah, man, great fight. And yeah, my guy won. And so that's why it was the J-Dog card. Austin Bashi versus Jose Miguel Delgado, brother. Jose got dropped in 30 seconds, bro, and I literally was scared. that Bashi literally was going to beat him. And yeah, Jose drops him bad in the first round. I'm pretty sure it was the first round, right? Yeah, drops Bashi bad in the first round and kind of dominates that round. Round 2, had good success. Delgado as well. Yeah, round 2 he was doing well in that round 2 and knocked him down. And then round 3, Bashi was pushing forward a lot. Got the Delgado shot a takedown for some reason, and Bashi like reversed it, I'm pretty sure, and was going for ground and pound there. But then Delgado got back up, and so I think it was 30-27, I'm pretty sure, for Miguel Delgado. He did get clipped at the very beginning there, but he did look really good otherwise in there. And Austin Bashi, to me, he is a grappler, very strong in the grappling. But I was very impressed with how he looked in his striking, and yeah, he was like tanking forward, landing punches, but he was getting clipped when he was pushing forward. So that's the only downfall. But he was honestly very impressive to me, because I thought he was just a grappler type guy. But yeah, he would look good. Miguel Delgado looked good after the first 30 seconds, and he gets the dub. I did pick him to win, so let's go. Main card, Tommy McMillan versus Alberto Montez. So I feel like Tommy McMillan versus Alberto Montez should have got fight of the night, to be honest. McMillan did get performance of the night, deserved, but I also feel like this could have been fight of the night. And the fact it wasn't fight of the night, that's why I said Jean-Paul and Sakyang KO could have got the performance of the bonus. If they're not going to give it to McMillan, I feel like they should have given fight of the night to JPL and Sakyang Ko. But yeah, they gave it to the main event, obviously. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, dude, these 3 fights, if you see in my thumbnail, bro, these 3 fights were banger. This was a war. This was, even though Delgado won it convincingly, it was a good scrap. And even though McMillan was winning the fight, it was still a good scrap, I feel like. These 3 fights back to back to back were kind of like sick, man. And so, listen, I know everyone's saying don't get the McMillan hype train, because everyone was doubting him, and I was low-key doubting him in this fight, obviously. And maybe, I don't know, because maybe it's just because he went 5 rounds in his debut fight, but look at the strike numbers, 255, holy piss. He's a volume striker. It's insane. And he did drop Montez at one point, but Montez did drop McMillan twice, so that's where he's got to be careful for the counter shots when he's just unloading. But listen, I'm a fan of McMillan as a fighter, but I'm gonna still be waiting for that time he does lose, to be honest. But as a fighter, he's sick, man. So fair play. I'll give him his props, right? And Alberto Montez, he's sadly just not what I thought, and what a lot of people probably thought, to be honest. I picked Montez to win. He has a nasty anaconda, but I'm stupid, so I didn't realize it, but my brother said you get anaconda chokes by people shooting in on you, right? Because they're shooting and then you grab around them, so, which is true. I just didn't realize that. So McMillan's not going to shoot on Montez, and so I was like, dude, why is Montez not shooting a takedown? It's because he wants them to shoot a takedown on him and not him to shoot a takedown on the ground. Like, he is good on the ground, but he wants you to shoot the takedown. So I was fooled, but I think Montez is still sick. He is tough. He's hung in there for a long time. Round 1 was close. McMillan obviously had the strike numbers, but Montez did drop him twice. So I feel like it's a close round, but McMillan obviously won round 2 and was on his way to win round 3. So either way, it would have been either 2-1 or 3-0 McMillan. But yeah, Montez is tough, stuck in there, but there was just a point where he just wasn't defending, or just not moving intelligently defending. He was just kind of standing there, and McMillan was ripping body shots, and it was nasty. So Yeah, man, I got this one wrong. Um, McMillan is, I think, a ranked type of fighter. I don't know how far he goes in the rankings, but I feel like he could get to that point. And I feel like Montez is good. It's just, I don't know how far he'll go. I do think he's good. I do think, he's going to get um, a couple of lower level people than McMillan, and he will win his next couple fights, but he will probably run into a moment where, well, it's featherweight, man. So I'm trying to think, like, I know Vallejos is in the rankings, but I think Vallejos would be tough for him, obviously. Even for McMillan, Vallejos to McMillan would be sick, but I think we need to give Tommy maybe one more fight before we get to the rankings. But anyway, I'm yapping too much on this one. Sick by McMillan. I was fooled. I fell for the trap of Montez. Montez's anaconda choke in his ground game, so I was fooled. So fair play, but yeah, I'm a fan of Tommy as a fighter, but I as I said, when he gets humbled, let's just say, because he is a talker, I will be waiting for that day. But as long as he keeps putting on banger fights, that's all I can ask for, right? So great fight. I felt like that should have got a fight of the night, as I said, but fair play. At least McMillan got a bonus, but it is what it is, bro. Tabitha Ritchie versus Fatima Kline. I see everyone on Twitter saying loving Fatima Kline now, man. They're like, Fatima Kline's sick, Fatima Kline's sick. Bro, I've been on this Fatima Kline glaze for a little bit now. Not too long, to be honest, but I definitely was glazing her before her fight against Angela Hill back in November. So not super long, but before I've been on the Kline train, man. So Tabitha Ritchie. The problem with this fight is Tabitha Ritchie is a bum. I'll be honest. She sucks. She's not good. If you remember the Yang Xiaonan fight, she literally threw 0 strikes in round 1. And so I know she's really bad. And so even though Fatima Kline did look really good, she should have, because Ritchie's not great. So I still do think that's number 8. Who's above her did she say? I forget. But I do think she beats Jillian Roberts might be tough because she's a very good grappler. But I think she beats like Amanda Lemos in the top 5. Who else was in the top 5? Loopy. She might probably beat Loopy. But yeah, man, I feel like if she needs that top 5 fight, and then we could possibly look at the title after this. I think she has champion caliber in her, and she is my women's strawweight GOAT, as you see in the thumbnail. I've been riding with Fatima Kline. I've been riding with Erin Blanchfield. That's what got me in. I love Erin Blanchfield. That's my girl. She's gonna put a masterclass against Jasmine at UFC 330. So we're gonna be glazing Erin Blanchfield. But I'm still an Erin Blanchfield glazer. But I found Fatima Kline through Erin Blanchfield, that they're training partners, and so I was like, okay, Fatima Kline. Okay, she's Erin Blanchfield's training partner, and then I realized she's how good she actually is, and so I'm glazing her too. So Erin Blanchfield and Fatima Kline, man, that's like my strawweight, flyweight champions, bro. If Fatima Kline and Erin Blanchfield become champ at the same time, man, it's hallelujah. That's all I can say, man. But yeah, she looked really good. A lot of people I see are like recognizing her after this one. Maybe they'll forget about her after this fight. Who knows? Maybe they just are glazing because they saw her recently. But nah, man, I'm locked in on Fatima Kline, man. She's going to the top. I think she gets top 5 next. Makes good work of that, and looks at the championship belt, man. And yeah, as I said, Ritchie's not good, which sucks to say. I'd like to say she's really good, and Fatima Kline looked great, but Ritchie's not good, so it was expected that Kline would win this one easily. We love Fatima Kline, man. Chase Hooper versus Mitch Ramirez. I picked Chase Hooper, and he gets it done in round 1. Now, I remember in the commentary they're like, he did it without like getting hit, and that's the problem. He didn't get hit, so he was able to sub Ramirez. If he gets hit, it's iffy. But he did miss weight too, which sucks. It does suck that he missed weight, but hey, what can I complain? He got the finish, he got the sub. Uh and yeah, man. Shout out Chase Hooper, man. I don't have much else to say. Uh he fought someone lower in competition, so I don't know what's next for him. Another lower competition guy before looking back at uh, ranked opportunities, obviously. But yeah, good performance by Chase. He gets the sub. It is what it is, man. I got that one right. Jared Cannonier versus Christian Leroy Duncan. Now, these guys are both my boys, and so I am happy with the result regardless. But I did pick Jared Cannonier because I love Jared Cannonier. And at 42 years old, still going out there, looking great. Sorry, he looked all right. He was getting chinned. He was getting clipped like he does in his fights. And I did say Jared Cannonier was going to win this fight through his grappling. And that's what he was going for. But he just could not get it done. And even when he did get CLD down, he just wasn't advancing to choke positions. He was like trying to get the hooks. Well, he was trying to get the hooks in, I guess, for a choke or something. But he just wasn't able to get far with the grappling. And seeing CLD against Delidze, I felt like, yeah, the grappling would be there for Cannonier, but it looked like CLD had better grappling in this fight, takedown defense, and yeah, he looked way better in that aspect, so that's how I think he was able to stop Cannonier's takedowns. And obviously the striking, man, he had nasty elbows, nasty spinning elbows, good straight shots that hurt Cannonier, and moments where he would throw flurries and hurt him, so yeah, man. I'm liking CLD. I'm gonna be with them there in the next fight, but I did pick Cannonier because I like on the scale it's like CLD and then like Cannonier. So I picked my boy, and he didn't get it done, but he did look good for 42 going out there. He's still yoked, and I'm not sure what's next for him. Yeah, I don't know. Do we give him like Gerald Meerschaert? Nah, man. I don't know. I want to see Cannonier get one more in there before he retires and get the dub, because I really want to see a Cannonier dub, man. I think we have to just give him a layup at this point. Like, he's going to drop low in the rankings. Let's just give him someone outside the rankings where he'll beat him. Not someone who's, I don't know, man. Because you can't just give some random bummer rank shot, technically. It has to be someone coming up, so it's going to be tough, but I hope Jared Cannonier gets one more in and a win before he retires. And yeah, CLD, he did his thing out there. Good, better grappling than I thought, and just his usual striking. So, good win for CLD. Yeah, man, got that one wrong. That sucked, but it all healed when Dricus Du Plessis put on a 50-45 masterclass against Kamaru Usman. Just straight domination. I don't know what else to say. Kamaru's confused by the 50-45. I guess if he wants, we can give him a 49-46 loss. Like, okay, you won one round, there's no difference, but I thought it was 50-45. I honestly thought Dricus, not beforehand, but when the fight was going on, I low-key thought Dricus might finish. After the first round, I was like, Dricus might finish him in this first round or in the second round. And he literally almost did twice. Well, in each round, I mean. And then round 3 was closer. That's where I think Kamaru could have won the round possibly, but I do think Dricus just had better shots. But then in round 4 and 5, he literally hurt Kamaru. Round 1, 2, 4, and 5, he had Kamaru on skates multiple times, so he literally can't win those rounds. Kamaru complained about an eye poke when it was literally a punch and the knuckles hit your eye, which happens. There's the Tabitha Ricci Amanda Rebos fight, and Ricci threw an elbow, and the point of her elbow literally hit Rebos in the eye, and it's not illegal, but it literally hurt her in the eye, and that's how she got the finish. So Usman getting a couple seconds and then still complaining after, being like, bro, what, I got poked in the eye. That's bro, cringe. And yeah, just him still complaining after the fight. I guess he just really wanted the double champ status and get the title shot after this. But my boy Drake is clutched up, put on an absolute masterclass. Dude, him versus Strickland 3 would be sick, but I feel like... is that what we do? I feel like we have to do Nasruddin. I feel like we just have to do Nasruddin versus Strickland first. Get Strickland a title defense, because he's never defended the title. So let's get him his title defense against Nasruddin. Maybe we do Drickus versus Brennan Allen in the meantime. Drickus gets the dub. Drickus finally settles the beef against the dub. And then we do Strickland versus Duplessis 3. That would be sick. That's my ideal timeline. But Drickus looked great tonight. End of the 5th round was a little rough, you know. Shooting takedown, not having a good takedown, and then Kamaru just pouring it all out at the end, I guess. But Drickus was, yeah, not getting hit and covering up, but nothing fight ending worthy, because Kamaru was just trying to empty the gas tank in the last couple seconds. But bro, Drickus is... I need to get Drickus up on my wall, man. I have Max Holloway and Lopez up there. Diego Lopez. And Drickus is one of those top guys that I like, so I think I need to get something up here of him. I need to find... I'll get something of him and put it up and let you guys know. But yeah, man, Drickus looked great tonight. Kamaru, I didn't realize Kamaru was 39, dude. I thought Kamaru was 37. He's 39. Crazy. I didn't know he was that old. So I think he said he's not done. I would love to see Usman versus Bilal, but that's only if Usman's going to go down to welterweight. But if he does, Usman versus Bilal would be a banger. And then Kamaru could retire probably, but he could retire after he loses to Bilal. It'd be sick if Bilal won that fight, man. But on this card, I think I said, did I tell you I went 8-4, I think. Got this one right, got this one wrong, got this one right, got this one wrong. So I was 2-2, 3-2, 4-2, 5-2, 5-3, 6-3, 7-3, 7-4, 8-4. So I went 8-4 on the card, better than last week, but we could have done better if I didn't fall for this. I probably was never going to change my mind there. This one to me was unknown, but I took a guess. And yeah, I just went with Alvin Hines. I didn't believe in the late replacement guy, but he got it done, so fair enough. But good card overall, man. You know, 2 good finishes. This fight was mid. Good finish. Banger fight. Dude, just the fact Fatima Kline put on domination, personally, I thought was sick. Chase Hooper sub, man. Little scrap between the boys. It was all right, you know. It was decent. It wasn't great, but it was decent. And then Drickus Duplessis ending the night with a beautiful performance, man. You love to see it. Yeah, man. UFC OKC, the J-Dog card was almost a success. To be honest, the only one that really hurts is Cannonier losing, but I do like CLD, so it kind of is okay. I did like Montez, but McMillan's sick too, so yeah, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. That was UFC OKC Oklahoma City. Basically the J-Dog card, for the way the fights were. I loved it, but yeah, man, what do we got? Ankalaev versus Guskov. No more Khalil Roundtree. Guskov's next. And really quick, I guess I'll talk about RFA. I saw RFA, Bilal versus Askren. Sick to see Ben Askren back out there, but Bilal did get the win. But the fact Askren even got out there was sick. And then the main event, Covington versus Arman, was kind of insane. I did think it would be close, but I did believe Arman was going to win that. But Colby gets it done. Colby gets the win, and now it's kind of like he lost in wrestling outside of the UFC, Arman, but like it kind of, people are going to be looking at it as a loss. and it affecting his placement in the UFC. Like, obviously, he's not getting the title shot. Regardless, he shouldn't be getting it. But after a loss to Colby Covington in wrestling, it kind of is like, yeah, he definitely shouldn't get it. So I think we should do Charles versus Arman for the number one contender fight there. But regardless, RAF, I've talked about it a couple times, but yeah, it's very sick. I think the next one is Jordan Burroughs. Jordan Burroughs versus Sean Brady. That should be sick. Hope Sean Brady clutches up, but I know Jordan's very good, so we shall see. But yeah, RAF was pretty sick tonight. Well, I only watched the main and co-main, but yeah, I only watched the main and co-main of RAF, but it was those two fights were sick, or those two wrestling matches were sick, and yeah, happy with how this card went overall. Although we didn't get all our predictions right, and two of the fights that I wanted a certain way specifically didn't go. It is what it is because they're still good fights. So we move on, and yeah, like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. That was the recap. We're gonna cook. Hopefully, I can cook something up in the meantime before the predictions for Ankalaev Goose Golf, and that one's got a lot of people I don't know, so I'm not expecting to do well on that card. But yeah, man, like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. I appreciate y'all. I'll see you guys in the next one, and Aaron Blanchfield and Fatima Kline. Those are the future strawweight and flyweight champions, man. So you heard it here first. I've been locked in with them since the grind, man. I don't know what I'm saying, bro. Fatima Kline and Aaron Blanchfield, man. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to glaze. Not glazing. All right. Deuces.